the call for this opportunity?
I was back home. I think it was 3 weeks after the Gracie fight. So I was back home, and my agent called me, and I think maybe on Monday it was getting talked about, but there was no real possibility yet. And then all of a sudden, I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, it was time to fly back to Florida and get ready for camp again.
I'm assuming no hesitation when they gave you the call?
Yeah, no, it was exciting. So it's a great opportunity, become world champ. Obviously, bad circumstances for Amasov right now, but I can't control that. MVP can't control that, and it is what it is, and we have to show up and fight.
Do you see it kind of as double incentive, because obviously Amasov handing you your first loss, that you be MVP? Not only do you get a piece of the title, but you get to avenge that loss?
Yeah, of course. I respect him. I respect Amasov, a lot, and we had a great battle in there, but I want to get that one back.
And what do you make of MVP? Obviously, very flashy striker. Tries to kind of play some mind games when he's in there. Have you done anything to kind of prepare for that, and what are you expecting out of him?
He's a competitor, and he's 20-1 and one of the best guys for a reason. But I've been in a lot of big moments before with wrestling since I was age 5. Competing at the highest level through college and wrestling international. So I know how to compete, and he's got a little different puzzle, but I'm going to go out there and do the best of my ability.
Any worry, this being in his hometown, that if it's a close fight, that, do you think about the judges and stuff like that, like trying? I know you never want to leave it in the judges' hands, but do you think about that at all?
The biggest thing, I think, most of us, especially wrestlers, is when the crowd, starts booing, things like that. Especially here, I know that will happen, but I need to do damage and not make it close.
Did you have anyone come in and give you a similar look to MVP, or just, I know you're not short of spectacular training partners, but did you bring in anyone to kind of mimic his style?
Sanford MMA, we have the best, and guys from all over the world with different backgrounds, so we just use those guys.
I want to talk about your Neiman Gracie win. Different style of fight for you, got to show off more like wrinkles to your game. What was that experience like going the distance with him?
I got to show, I was a full, complete fighter, and I got to show it to everyone in an exciting fight and a dominant victory, so I was happy with that.
Thank you.
Hi, Logan. So, obviously, fighting on MVP's home soil, have you had a chance to sort of go around London? Have you met many people? Have you met any fans at all?
I got to walk around here a little bit. Obviously, I know downtown is a little ways away, so, I'm here for a business trip, and I got to take care of me first and make weight tomorrow. And but, it's beautiful around here. I've enjoyed my time. I've seen my mom and sister are here. They've been here for the week, so I've seen some pictures of the posters, and so it's cool to see it, on the buses and outside the telephone, things like that. It's cool to see from when I first started, this sport not that long ago, to see your picture all over the city.
MMA is definitely a growing sport in the UK. There's plenty of other companies that are getting big sort of TV deals. So are you seeing this headline spot, obviously against one of the biggest British guys out there, as a real chance to sort of get your name out there, outside of America into another big market for MMA?
Yeah, of course. I got to go in there and do my job, but you're world champ, and I want to go and I want to continue to grow as a fighter, but also get my name out there and let people know. Some of my other fights, were, I think most of them have been on the main card, co-main events, things like that. But now you're fighting a big name, who has a backing and fans. So after I get done with that, I think a lot of people know my name.
And obviously you're going to be fighting in Wembley, very much sort of MVP sort of, arena. He's fought there, he's won there a lot of times. The crowd reaction's always huge. How are you going to cope with the sort of, what I imagine is probably going to be a fairly boo-heavy, regardless of you as a person, a fairly boo-heavy entrance? Is that going to faze you at all, or are you just here to get the job done?
Man, it is what it is. You gotta relish it, love it, and I'm excited to be here. But at the same time, it doesn't matter if all those people are for me. I fought in my home city before, and it's fun. But at this point, it doesn't matter. I have to go in there, and once that bell rings, it's just about competing. And I've been a competitor my whole life, so maybe I can grab a few fans from him, but I get it. He's from here, and those are his fans.
Well, you got a fan here. Good to see you in London. Best of luck at the event on Friday. Best of luck with your career.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hello, Logan. How are you?
Doing well.
Thanks for joining us today. A few questions about Stanford MMA. I know it was brought up earlier. I want to talk about Michael Chandler. Obviously, last weekend, getting that big knockout against Tony Ferguson. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was great. Mike kind of throws that a lot, just messing around with sparring and things like that. And obviously, it worked well. And so it's definitely been in his arsenal, but I'm glad it landed. I trained with Tony when I first got into this sport not quite, when I was a senior in high school, because Brock Lesnar is from my hometown, coached him. So I know both guys really well. Both are legends, and so, I'm excited for Mike, though.
And then he got on the mic and he produced a 10 out of 10 performance on the mic, and he called out Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje. If they did run it back, how do you see that going as well?
I think Mike's improving. He's improving, and he's continuing to get better, but so is Oliveira. That was the best version we've seen of probably both guys. So, I'm always going to ride with my guy, Mike Chandler, but, you never know.
Thanks very much. Good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get a couple from Zoom. Santiago.
Hi Logan, greetings from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. There was also Jason Jackson at the top of this division. You, of course, fought 5 rounds with Neiman Gracie, one of the most entertaining fights of 2022. Do you think the promotion had that in their mind when they decided to give you this MVP fight?
Yeah, obviously I think that, it was an exciting fight. People got to see a different side of me, and, my only loss, split decision loss, a fight that I thought I did enough in is the champ, and he's dominated. He went out there against Lima, so, I think it's my time and time to show the world, who I really am against a guy like MVP.
Henry Hooft has guided a lot of fighters towards the title. How important has Henry been for you personal and also for your career?
Yeah, Henry's great. I moved to Florida about 5-6 years ago, and as a 4-0 fighter, really not much experience, and got to be around all those guys, world-class coaches, and it's made a huge difference. And I hope to bring that belt back to him Saturday.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you.
Dylan. Just bear with us one sec.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
You spoke a little bit about your last bout, but your last bout with Neiman, it was billed as the battle for ground supremacy. I don't know if either of you guys had over a minute of ground control time. So did you anticipate that fight being a stand-up battle, and are there certain ways you envision this fight playing out?
I kind of got to my rhythm early in that fight and felt like I was winning the fight, so there was no reason to play that game with him even, because we've seen what Neiman has done to a lot of guys on the ground, and so I was comfortable with where I was, and I knew he couldn't take me down. So once I got into my rhythm, I didn't really want to change it there. And as far as this fight goes with MVP, I think we both have our game plans. He wants to keep it standing and use his movement. I want to get to my takedowns and do damage on top. But, you learn about a lot about each other, once that fight starts to happen. And so we'll see.
Definitely. And what area of your game would you say that you focused most on improving since your last time out against Neiman?
Just everything, putting everything together, piecing everything together, from my striking to my takedown to doing more damage on top. We spent a lot of time there, a lot of time on the cage. I envision this fight kind of taking place in those areas. So it's just putting everything together, and that's what it's going to take. This fight is a lot of focus and, a well-rounded fight.
Cool, let's go to Ben.
Hey Logan, like you alluded to earlier, 4-time NCAA D1 All-American for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I was curious if you could reflect on some of the largest lessons learned from your time there.
The biggest thing about college wrestling that not many people see is the schedule that we have. I competed 30 to 40 times a year, made weight Friday, then we'd travel somewhere, make weight Sunday, come back to the University of Minnesota, and I'd go to school. So there was a lot of things going on. You had to balance that. Just trying to be a college kid, trying to be an athlete, and I was part of one of the best teams in the country and was ranked high every single year. So there was a lot more to it compared to fighting 3-4 times a year, and that's what a lot of people don't see. But on the other spectrum is I competed against the best guys on a weekly basis. It didn't matter how you felt. It didn't matter how the weight cut went. You had to show up for your team, And so that taught me a lot, and I think it has brought me a long, long way in this game.
Could you dissect some of the differences between weight cutting in wrestling and weight cutting in MMA? Is it largely similar, or are there some maybe differences that people wouldn't know?
Yeah, you guys don't, cut as much weight each week. It's probably more from 6 to 12 pounds, I guess, that I tried to do. Because you have to compete in 1 hour. You make weight and you have to compete in an hour for a duel. You're competing multiple times a day, so you can't pull 20, 25 pounds like you do in MMA. So that is different, and hydration tests, things like that. In college, NCAA testing, was a little more strict, and we were, young college kids, so they were watching us a little more closely because we're not pros, like we are at this level.
Thanks, man. Best of luck.
Cool, let's go to Jay.
Hi, thanks very much. Hey, Logan. One of the criticisms of MVP over the years has been his strength of opposition. There's been a lot of comments about whether or not he's had some favorable matchups and not had his wrestling tested as well. So I'm wondering if you buy into that narrative and what your thoughts are on his wrestling and his takedown defense.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think a lot of guys are lining up for the fight either. I think MVP has proven himself, though, as a top guy. And, so I don't have anything disrespectful to say about him in those terms. But as far as wrestling, we've seen Daly, Lima get to their takedowns. But he does a really good job with his hand control and trying to keep you close and get a stand-up. So I'm going to have, obviously he's never faced anyone like me. And so that's a difference that, he's never felt inside that cage. And, I'm going to take full advantage of that.
All right, thanks very much.
Cool, let's get Kobe.
Hi, Logan. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad.
Now, was there any change in your preparation for this because you are an injury replacement to Amosov?
No, I got, obviously it was a very quick turnaround, but my body was healed up. So, we went around things, and but yeah, I got a good training camp in. I've been in this game for a while now, so I know how to prepare. I know how to get myself to the best of my ability, and that's what we did again. Is under Henry Hooft, Kami Barzini, so those guys have seen the best of the best, and they've also, coached multiple champs, and so I trust those guys with everything, and having Robbie Lawler in your corner, who's been in multiple championship fights, doesn't hurt either.
And do you believe that your last few fights, which have been basically wars that have gone the distance, do you think that gives you an advantage as far as the cardio goes?
Obviously it was great to get that last fight, 25 minutes, those extra 2 rounds. Like I said, leading up to that fight, it's just preparing me for this moment right now, preparing me for Friday night, those 25 minutes. And so I was happy with that, So, I know I'm tested. I know I can go the distance, push the pace, and that's what I plan to do on Friday night.
Looking forward to a fantastic fight, buddy.
Thank you.
Cool, let's get one from Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Logan?
Hey.
It's MMA Locker Room, part of Pop Sports Radio, man. Really looking forward to this match taking place this Friday. Have one type of question, though. Facing an opponent as dangerous as MVP is, I mean, he fractures the man's skull, broke a man's nose in there in the cage before. Is there anything that gives you some type of resentment to go in there and do your wrestle-heavy game plan? Or is it the same thing? You're going to go in there and, you know, try to implement exactly what you're good at, what you could expose him on?
Yeah, you know, those fights were different. You know, Derek Anderson was playing his game with his hands down when he got caught. I forget the other fight. You know, he dove in on a double leg. So those guys aren't me. You know, obviously I know he's dangerous, and you have to respect him with that. But those guys don't set up their takedowns like me. They're not as heavy on top as me. And, you know, at the end of the day, they're not me. So that's what I have to say about that.